Let's begin with the first race of the Season 5 Pizza Deck Series Chase for the championship. Good afternoon, everybody, as we continue on our race weekend from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Getting ready here to begin the road where we will whittle down the field of 12 down to the Elite 8 at the completion of 3 races. 12 drivers after last week's regular season finale at Hillside were the ones that raced their way in to become contenders for this season's championship, and they will start out their journey here at this 1.5 mile speedway. Race that is going to be awfully exciting if it's anything like our Truck Series race was here yesterday. Those 12 drivers that come into this race include the following: Phil Parker, Austin LaPlante, Diego Yepez, Nick Gunther, Z Flickinger, K Batson, Eli Brite, Quentin Moore, James Shelley, Elijah Gilbert, Juan Garcia, and Patrick Curtis. 3 rookies, 9 veterans, and 1 former champion of the series, that being Elijah Gilbert, trying to become the first ever 2-time champion in Pizza Hut X Series history. Remember, it's a win and you're in kind of situation. If any of our 12 playoff contenders win here today, they will make it into the round of 8, regardless of what happens in the upcoming races at Bristol Dirt and Auto Club. They'll make it into the next round of the playoffs. So you got to bet that's definitely on their mind. But there's 30 other drivers in this field that also want to go to victory lane as well. If you look at this field and you try and figure out who's got the advantage over who, there are a couple of drivers coming into this playoffs that have been in the playoffs before. Those drivers would include the following. You've got Austin LaPlante. He took part in the playoffs back, I believe it was in Season 3, finished out the season, 6th in the point standings. Elijah Gilbert's obviously a given. He took the championship back in Season 2. He also made the playoffs in Season 3 where he finished in 5th. Another driver would be Eli Brite. He was in the playoffs back in Season 2, I believe it was. Finished out that year 7th overall in the point standings. James Shelley has also been in the playoffs back in Season 2, finished out that year 6th in the point standings. So there are a number of drivers that do have experience being in the playoffs, but there are some other drivers, they've never been in the playoffs before. Obviously the rookies like Gunther, Batson, Garcia, it's their first time, but also some veterans like Phil Parker, Diego Yepez, Z Flickinger, Quentin Moore. These guys have never been in the playoffs before, so this is new territory for them, and we're going to have to see how they do now that they've got that red banner across their windshield. Without further ado, let's go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports, and let's get these playoffs rolling.
Drivers, start your engines!
Command given, 41 laps of racing here today. It was a fuel strategy race in our Truck Series event yesterday. It will be a fuel strategy race here today as well, as we know for certain these drivers will not be able to make it the scheduled 41 laps on 1 tank of fuel without having to come to pit road at least 1 time, whether it be under green or under caution. Fuel window is somewhere around 27 to 30 laps. Give or take maybe a couple laps more that they could stretch it. Maximum they can go is 33 laps. Let's take a look at what your playoff standings look like coming to this race. It's very simple. Everyone that made the playoffs had 1 win, so they all come in with the same number of points, 1,003. So Phil Parker, Austin LaPlante, Diego Yepez, Nick Gunther, Z Flickinger, K Batson, Eli Brite, Quentin Moore, James Shelley, Elijah Gilbert, Juan Garcia, and Patrick Curtis all come in tied for the points lead, a 12-way tie. Phil Parker starts on the pole. We'll see if that starting track position is going to help the 31 in his quest to make it into the round of 8. And as you observe the 31, you can see the difference between him and former Hershey's Cup Series champion Brooke Allen. The chase drivers have the red banner over the windshield. They also have a red splitter, and they have a red spoiler with a little bit of white accent on the sides. So that's how you'll be able to tell your playoff contenders from the other drivers in this field that all also want to find victory lane here today at Las Vegas. Let's get ready to go racing. The chase for the Pizza Hut X Series Championship is green at Las Vegas. Let's roll. Phil Parker tried to clear Brooke Allen off turn 2, not successful. Allen got the run on the high side, keeps alongside the 31. He'll take the battle here into turn 4. And I think Allen might get him for the lead at the line. I think she did. Wow. That 3 car wound up on the top side. Brooke Allan leads by a splitter. Now gonna have to try and battle back again. Phil Parker's got a rear decklet full of Charles Jackson as they're 2x2 all the way through this field. You gotta wonder when they're gonna force the issue 3 wide. They're already 3 wide back there mid-pack. That's it. Rookie Andrew Gonzalez getting put in the middle. Ooh, and are they going to go 3 wide for the lead? You better believe they are. Charles Jackson up the inside line. He's going to put Phil Parker in the middle. Brooke Allan way up top side. And what would you do for a Klondike bar? Maybe go 3 wide for the lead. Charles Jackson did that. He succeeds. He's out in front. Sky Common's going to move into second. Daniel Olson into third as Brooke Allan trying to get her car at least down to the middle groove. Not successful right now. They're still 3 wide back there for about 5th place. Let's drop back to that because that's where it's a very hairy situation. Playoff driver Phil Parker, well, it looks like he might have actually lifted to allow Brooke Allan some access into that second lane. Maybe realizing the gravity of the situation, but at the same time, he's now going to lose being the highest running playoff contender as Patrick Curtis, our Darlington winner, is going to move up past him, and now Curtis is going to cross the line somewhere around 6th place, I would say. They've got him scored in 6th. Yep, and it took him a while to actually update the scoring monitor. Battle for the lead, and it's over. Jackson had it. Rookie Wyatt Quayle going to move to the point. And the Full Frontal Motorsports team, yesterday in the Truck Series, they had some really good, strong trucks. We saw Henry Williams, Andrew Miller, and Nathan Stapleton all up at the front of the field. The other car, Wyatt Walker, encountered some early issues, but no surprise to see the Full Frontal Motorsports cars doing good right now here, at least a couple of them. Quayle leading the way, and then you look back there at that red Target Chevrolet of Mark Davidson. He's actually up in the top 5 now as well. Charles Jackson, 18th in points coming to this race, not in the playoffs. He was a playoff contender last year, and right behind him, Ying Canario, dead last in the points coming into this race. Right now scored in the 3rd position. Canario was in the playoffs last season as well when he drove the 6 for Roush Fenway Racing. Heather Gallant now moving up into the 4th position. Good run there for that rookie. Gallant's been struggling this year, 31st in points coming into this race, and right now the highest running playoff contender. It was before Patrick Curtis. Now it's the rookie Juan Garcia. So what a shot in the arm this has got to be for our Richmond winner. One of 3 rookies in this field that are battling for the championship, and right now he is the highest running of them in the 6th position. Andrew Davis there in the 5. There's been a good battle for the rookie points lead this entire season, and it's going to continue here into the playoffs. Nick Gunther, K Batson, Andrew Davis, Andrew Gonzalez, all separated by 10 points in the rookie standings. And just outside looking in are drivers like Sky Comets and Juan Garcia. They are both only 12 and 13 points back from Gunther, so I don't think it's over for this rookie points battle at all. Matter of fact, speaking of K Batson, she's working her way to the front. There she is, trying to crack the top 10. Last time by scored in 11th, trying to pass J Jefferson for that 10th position. Good run there for the driver out of KEB Racing Enterprises. Now going to try the outside line on J Jefferson. That might have not been the best move because that opened the door down low for K Langeland. Another playoff contender right there, Diego Yepez in the 19. Yepez was a 2-time winner last year when he drove the number 21. However, Diego Yepez's wins ended up taking place during the playoffs. And so they didn't count towards any opportunity of getting into the chase. Well, actually, no. His one win at Daytona was actually during the regular season, but he wasn't high enough in the top 30 in points for that win to count. And then he won later on during the playoffs at Indianapolis. Eli Brite, his teammate Juan Garcia running up there near the front. And the other driver, the other playoff contender out of Strigley Motorsports, also running well. He's just outside the top 10. Last time by was scored 18th. I think he's running better than that right now. Eli Brite in his 2nd chase for the championship here in the Pizza X Series. Back when he was in the playoffs last time, he was driving the 05. which I don't think at the time, I might be wrong, but I don't think at the time the 05 was actually out of Flying Aces Racing stables. I don't really remember what team it was out of, but I don't think at the time Flying Aces Racing had established a Pizza X Series team. That was back in Season 2. Back up towards the front. Wyatt Quail still leads. There's a good battle for second. They're all trying to catch the 62. Rookie Andrew Davis now moves into second. Canario to third. Gallant to fourth. Jackson now in fifth, and he's being hounded for that spot by Mark Davidson. As these drivers battle, how about Carson Gum up there in the 99, former playoff contender from last season. Not in the playoff this year. As a matter of fact, only 2 drivers representing Backmarker Motorsports this season. 71 of James Shelley, 66 of former champion Elijah Gilbert. Last year, that team had 3 drivers contending for the championship. Seth Cole, Carson Gum, and Charles Jackson. Or no, Charles Jackson wasn't in the playoffs. Jackson wasn't high enough in the stands. They only had 2. They only had 2 drivers last year, so only 2 drivers this year. Now, we've shown you a lot of the drivers that are running up near the front. How about some drivers that are playoff contenders that may be struggling? Let's see where they're at. There's James Shelley and Zach Flickinger. They are scored right now in the 24th and 25th position. Right behind them, Quentin Moore in 27th. So they're not out of it. They're still in this lead pack, but obviously I think they'd be wanting to run a little bit further up towards the front of the field than where they are right now. Patrick Curtis was up towards the front. He's now faded back into the 32nd position. There's Elijah Gilbert. We just talked about him. He's back in 34th. LaPlante back here as well. He's in 36th. So not good runs for any of them. And one other driver that's faded from view that I haven't seen for a while, and that's our pole sitter, Phil Parker. Where did he go? There he is. He's back in 41st, and he's lost the lead pack. And Nick Gunther, another playoff contender, is way back here in 42nd. So 2 playoff contenders bringing up the rear of the field. Gunther was just entering into turn 3. The field's entering into turn 1, the leader anyway. So still about half a racetrack before Gunther would get lapped, but boy, I think both the 31 and the 55 are going to have to rely on some fuel strategy here to get themselves some spots, because the field is definitely split up. Likelihood of a caution slim to none, especially when you consider Las Vegas usually doesn't see very many yellow flags. That's why usually a lot of these races are fuel strategy races. So, boy, Gunther and Parker, they are in trouble right now, and they could find themselves in a bit of a pickle heading into Bristol Dirt. Races for this round, obviously here at Las Vegas, then Bristol Dirt in the middle, and then our elimination races at Auto Club. Auto Club used to be the place where we had our season finales, but that got swapped up to the elimination race for, I think, all 3 series for round 1. No, actually, not for Hershey's Cup, just for Trucks and Pizza Hut X. Homestead, Miami, the final venue for all 3 series to end out the season. Auto Club is on the Hershey's Cup Series schedule, but it is actually the first race of round 2 for their chase. Well, I don't know if this is some strategy going on here, or if the 5 might be saving some fuel or what. But Davis keeps peeking down low through the corners, but he doesn't make a move on Wyatt Quail. We saw before, if you tuned into yesterday's Truck Series race, Tony Green was leading in the closing stages, had to pit with 2 laps to go because being out in front, he was using up more fuel than he was running in the draft of someone, and had to give up the race lead to come to pit road and finish the race outside the top 20. I think right now, Andrew Davis might be stepping out of line just a little bit in the corner, letting a little bit of cool air get to the motor so that way the thing doesn't overheat, but at the same time staying in the wake of the 62, allowing Wyatt Quail to cut the wind for him, which is allowing the 5 a better opportunity at saving a little bit more fuel. And we are getting close to that point as well, where these drivers are going to have to start thinking about pitting. Fuel window, like I said, is somewhere around 25 to 28 laps. And we are getting close to that point here within the next 3 to 5 laps. A lot of single file up here through the top 10. So it may come down to the pit crews as to whether they're going to gain or lose positions on track. Las Vegas is not one of the easiest pit roads to get onto, but then again, it's not one of the hardest. It's kind of in the middle. It's all about how you approach it. There's a couple of cars that have worked their way up here before we get to these pit stops into the top 10. One of them is Cole Deaver in the 15. He's now up to 7th place. As a matter of fact, I think he's now 6th. He just took the spot from Canario. That 15's got a good long run car, and he might be able to get up here into the top 5 before these pit stops begin. Deaver had a strong car back at Daytona Road Course. Thought he might be a contender for that win. Deaver's been actually pretty good this season. A couple of times I thought he was going to go to victory lane, and the numbers just don't really show just really how good a season he's had. He's 22nd in the point standings coming to this race, and he had a very poor performance back at Hillside last week. Nick Gunther just got lapped. 55, it took them roughly, about 10 to 12 laps to catch the 55, who had about a half racetrack to himself in the leader. They caught him, they've put him a lap down, and Nick Gunther, this is not good for a driver that came into this race as a playoff contender. And he's wadding them all up here as well. Cole Deaver, with all of that, just moved up to 3rd. Quail still leading. They're going to have to pit probably this lap, or at least in the next 2 laps, I would assume. Let's see if the 62 makes any indication to pit road, or do any of the leaders. Nope, they're staying out as Deaver moves into 2nd. At 15 might take the lead here down to turn 1. He is flying. Another slow car ahead. That's Phil Parker, who ended out the season as the overall points leader. And Deaver's looking low. Gonna try and go for the lead. Certainly hope none of these guys have to pit here, because Deaver's kind of blocked Wyatt Quail out of coming to pit road. And Cole Deaver, who wasn't even in the top 10 about 10 laps ago, is now up to the race lead. That must be the fastest car on track. Let's take a look at the lap times real quick, see if he's top. Yes, he is. 26.017, fastest lap of the day for Cole Deaver. And Andrew Davis in 2nd. That's the 2nd fastest lap. They're the only 2 cars so far that have hit the 26 O's. Well, I thought these drivers might come to pit road a little bit earlier. Furthest they can go is 33 laps on fuel. And looks like they might actually be trying to go that far. Deaver now having difficulty with the 31 of Phil Parker, who's trying to keep himself on the lead lap. That's not going to happen. So now 2 drivers off the lead lap, and both of them are playoff contenders as... Oh, I thought Deaver's coming to pit road. Oh, it's Phil Parker coming to pit road. I saw the field all moving up, and I thought, who are they moving up for? They were moving up for the 31. And that just opened up a lot of real estate between the 15 of Cole Deaver and 2nd place Andrew Davis. Eli Brite now up to 3rd. Right now the highest running playoff contender. Deaver stays out. Davis stays out. Eli Brite's coming in. Wyatt Quail as well. Oh no! Looks like Davis did come in. He just had a very late entry. But Deaver did stay out in the 15. If I can get to him. There he is. Diego Yepez also rolling the dice, staying out an extra lap. Mark Davidson did as well. And it might be just those 3, at least for the front runners, and now Deaver's coming to pit road. Is Diego Yepez going to stretch it an extra lap, try and get a bonus point for leading? Nope, he's not. He's in, and so too is Mark Davidson. Bit of congestion here on pit road. James Shelley just now leaving pit lane. There's the race leader Cole Deaver in to the attention of his crew. This will cycle around the pit stops. Deaver had a nice advantage between himself and Andrew Davis. When those pit stops began, we'll see if he can have that big of a lead when he leaves pit road. They're down and away. Now Mark Davidson got credited for leading that lap because his pit stall was down after the start-finish line. Deaver's was before it. So Davidson's going to get a bonus point on pit road as Deaver down and away. We're looking to find that number 5 Budweiser Chevrolet out of Michael Norman Motorsports, see where he is in relation to the 15. There's the lap car of Phil Parker, but the 5's nowhere to be seen. And there's a reason for it. There's a new 2nd place car, Eli Brite, now up to 2nd. Wyatt Quail in third. Then you got the lap car of Nick Gunther, and Andrew Davis fell from second back to fourth. Now hitting the line here, there is a total of 8 laps to go. Eli Brite and Wyatt Quail are lined up nose to tail. Deaver's got Phil Parker battling with him here. Parker trying to get back in the lead lap. Is there enough time for Eli Brite and Wyatt Quail to work together to get up here and battle with Cole Deaver for the win? Remember, Cole Deaver, Wyatt Quail, they're both looking for their first win of the season. Eli Brite's looking for a win to get into the next round of the playoffs. That time by, they closed up a full second between themselves and the race leader, Cole Deaver. Deaver was having some difficulty there with Phil Parker. That hurt his lap time, and you can now see just on the right side of your screen the 02 and the 62 starting to close in the gap. Eli Brite scored in second. A couple of other playoff contenders in the late stages up in the top 10. Diego Yepez in 8th. Juan Garcia in 9th. 3 of our playoff contenders in Ford Mustangs right now up in the top 10. That time by, another 7/10 closed up by Brite and Quail. Looks like these two have a game plan. Settle your differences out once you catch the 15 and then battle for the lead. But for now, stick together nose to tail, lay down good lap times, and get up there so you have a shot at battling for the win. Eli Brite, as we mentioned, was in the playoffs back in Season 2. He finished overall in the 7th position, which means he did make it to round 2 of the playoffs, but did not make it to the Final 4. If he wins here today, he will make it into the round of 8 once again, and he's going to take the lead. Easily gets by Cole Deaver with a big run and big help from Wyatt Quail. 4 laps to go here at Las Vegas. Eli Brite's win this season came at the road course configuration of Daytona. Now trying to win at the Speedway. You look back at Eli Brite during the close of seasons, back 2 seasons ago when he ran in the first year of the Coors Light Truck Series, he finished out the year with back-to-back wins in the final 2 races of the year. And last year, Eli Brite won a playoff race when he wasn't a playoff contender in the Pizza Deck Series, the playoff opening race at Chicagoland. So he knows how to win at the speedways, and right now trying to prove it. And as the laps tick away, I wonder, do any of these guys have a shot? Andrew Davis, Carson Gum, Daniel Olson, they're all trying to catch up here, but right now it looks like it's mano a mano. Veteran Eli Brite versus rookie Wyatt Quail. When will Wyatt make the move if he can? 2 laps to go as they head into turn 1. You've got the lap machine of Phil Parker, who appears to be up to speed. He's between 2nd and 3rd place. Davis trying to dispose of him quickly and try and get up here into this battle. Can't get him in turn 3. They'll see the white flag this time. Wyatt Quail wants his first career win. Eli Brite wants to make it into the round of 8. He doesn't want to worry about Bristol Dirt or Auto Club. Davis going to get by Phil Parker. Does he have enough time to run down the top 2? Quail's taking a look low. Not able to get there yet. Will he take a peek down to the inside here in 3 and 4? Davis with a big run. Out of turn 4. Brite pinching it down as low as he can. He's going to hold them off. Quail can't get to the inside. Eli Brite's going to win the opener here at Las Vegas. For the 2nd straight year, he wins the playoff opener, but this time as a playoff contender, he's locked himself up a spot in this season's round of 8. 2nd win on the year for Eli Brite. 2nd year in his career that he will make it into the round of 8, and as I said, 2nd straight season where the opening race for the Pizza Deck Series Chase for the Championship has been won by Eli Brite. Last year, he was driving the number 12 for Srigley Motorsports. This season, moving over to the 02. Same team, same driver, same result. Standings are official, and so Eli Brite, he can head into Bristol Dirt. He can head into Auto Club. He can start in park if he wants, because he will be in the round of 8 when we get to the first race of the 2nd round at Talladega Superspeedway. Wyatt Quail so close to getting his first career victory, but he'll have to settle for 2nd. Andrew Davis there in 3rd as well. Good run for both those rookies. Carson Gum will bring it home in 4th. and Daniel Olson will complete the top 5, yet another consistent run for the 32 team. Then it's Diego Yepez finishing in 6th, so he's the second highest finishing chaser of the day. Sky Commons, his teammate, brings it home in 7th. Juan Garcia, Eli Brite's teammate, there in 8th. Great run for that chaser as Joshua Hyatt finishes 9th. And Cole Deaver, boy, after he lost the lead to Eli Brite, he really dropped like a rock. He was leading when the pit stops began. He'll finish out the day in the 10th position. Where'd the rest of our playoff contenders finish? Quentin Moore finishes in 15th. K Batson in 18th place. Patrick Curtis back in 22nd. Elijah Gilbert back in 24th. Z Flickinger in 26th. And then you get down here towards the bottom of the results. James Shelley, who won at Hillside last week, he gets 31st. Austin LaPlante, poor performance there in 34th. And the 2 drivers that are going to really have to scramble when we get to Bristol Dirt, finishing 41st and 42nd, the only cars off the lead lap. Phil Parker, who started this race from the pole, and Nick Gunther, who came into this race as the rookie points leader. 41st, 42nd is where they finish. They're only going to basically get, I think, 1 and 2 points apiece. I'm pretty sure neither one of them led a lap today either. Parker didn't even lead the first lap. B Allan got him at the line on the high side. So, boy, those two really going to have to scramble next week at Bristol Dirt. And if they don't do well at Bristol Dirt, it may be a must-win situation for those drivers when we get to Auto Club. But how about this? We won green flag all the way, an average speed of 195 miles per hour. And what a finish there at the end. Eli Brite, he'll move on to the round of 8 with this victory. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We have shown your full finishing results. These are rookie points. These are overall points. And these are your reformatted playoff points after today's race heading into Bristol Dirt next week. We cap off our Las Vegas race weekend, which has certainly been an exciting weekend up to this point, with our Hershey's Cup Series start to their chase here at Las Vegas here tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss it. Until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing